counting up that money in a vision. It's getting close, yeah, I see it, man.
All right, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast show. Got a special guest on the show today, Virtue owner, Louisville finest. Tone, man, how you doing?
That's beautiful, man. Things is beautiful. It's a wonderful day. Appreciate you having me on, man. You're doing real good things. I seen the interview with Shorty Lowe's son. Seeing you make a lot of noise, man. So salute to you, man.
Oh, really? Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I wanted to create a platform, just for. I was talking to Stay Ahead owner last week, and I was like, we had to make Louisville kind of like Houston or Atlanta, where everybody helps each other out. If someone is building up and they get a platform to help everybody, whether that's artists, business owners, or anybody, just everybody can help each other as everybody trying to achieve their own individual goals, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. And I think a lot of people, sometimes I get a little flack because people say I don't go outside of our circle to get a lot done. So it makes the engagement, want to be a part of the team, that much more enticing. But I believe I'm going to build from within. So if I see a special talent or a niche that I see in somebody else that works there, I'm going to invest in you to get there as opposed to reaching out to somebody else outside. Because I believe that you're only going to be as successful as the people around you. So if I feel like that they're not achieving their best, I got to bring that out of them in some type of way. So shout out to Nisha. She's great beat up DJ. Like whatever she's talking about, mixing margaritas, she's got a niche and an ear for music. And she likes that energy, and I think that's something she'll be. So that's our next, like, great DJ. Yeah, she great DJ.
All right, we'll start from the beginning, man. So tell the people where you're from and how old are you?
Man, I am born and raised Louisville, Kentucky. Dig down a little deeper than that, from the West End.
Okay.
4 different markets where I was born and raised. A lot of my childhood, then eventually moving to Shively, of course. High school, I went to Mill. 38, just turned 30, I'm 38, so for this industry, I'm kind of on the younger side, but I'm definitely on the older side of probably going out, so. But it's been a blessing, man. I don't wish I moved out of the city. A lot of people say I wish I'd have moved, and I want to do it here, and I don't want it to hinder, I don't want to look back and have no regrets, but I said I wanted to do it here.
So, as far as your upbringing, man, for anybody that ain't never been to Louisville, Kentucky, just kind of describe the everyday struggles as a kid when you was younger, transitioning to a teenager, just struggles you had to go through just being a regular African-American kid in Kentucky.
Man, I think it's kind of like the storybook that everybody kind of says. Just growing up in the West End, just having to watch your surroundings. Where I grew up at, we had like a lot of neighborhood fights. You know what I'm saying? We might be playing pitchback tackle on the street, tackle on the sidelines, end up in an altercation, but we wasn't really like a lot of gunplay.
No.
So it was more of us, we gonna fight, we might not talk for a couple of days, but we gonna walk to the same bus stop, go to the same school, and we not, the tension's there, but by the time we get back, one day we just gonna end up playing football again together, because a lot of us played in the same Little League together, the Muhammad Ali League, which is, one of the original Little League football leagues here for us to, so we did those type of activities, playing basketball at Parkland, with my cousins, and they lived on 32nd or whatever. So just doing those type of childhood activities kind of kept me cool, and I was pretty book smart. So I went to a couple different middle with the camera. I went to Mazik, stayed in kind of the advanced classes. So I went to Brandeis. So I was always exposed to like a variety of ethnicities, upbringings, going to camera. You got a lot of people from the East End out there. When I say that, like St. Matthews and that, but we catching the 15th Street, Market Street bus to camera. You know what I'm saying? We on a 2-hour TARC ride, and they got a 5-minute walk home. You know what I'm saying? So I was always blessed, and I'm gonna say it's a blessing because it was good to be able to be exposed. But I was blessed with a 2-parent household. My daddy went to work, my mother went to work, so that was a blessing too, though. So I wasn't like I am since I was raised by just my mother, just my father. My parents was locked up. Like, they provided a very good home to be raised in, even though we was in the West End. So I was able to just focus on school and then develop a hustle amongst myself.
Okay.
I will say that just like most African American parents, they didn't really press entrepreneurship. It was go to school, go to college. You know what I'm saying? It was that blueprint that they did, and we've had conversations. And I told them it never was me. Mm-hmm. So with my kids, I let them see where their interest is, and I let them kind of just, figure it out. They don't let them bob up their head, but I'm gonna let them be exposed to different ways. It's more than one way to get to the top.
Right.
And I think I don't know about yourself, but I was kind of taught that this is how you get to the top. Mm-hmm. Is go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I go back, I'm like, man, college didn't do nothing but give me a debt. You know what I'm saying? For this piece of paper that I really wasn't going to use. But my thing was I was an entrepreneur. I had the spirit at a young age. I was always a hustler. All the way from my first, everybody knew Tone's going to work. Tone's going to get to the money.
Yeah, so you got any siblings?
I do, man. Two younger brothers. One of my brothers passed away of cancer at a young age. So
sorry.
Yeah, so when I talk, that was an era of my life that was rough. Mm-hmm. Being 19, watching your 17-year-old brother have cancer, lose his leg, and go from being a star hooping from Butler, and they say it's tendonitis, and he goes back to get his second shot in his knee. They're like, you gotta go to the hospital. It might be something else because we're not giving you another cortisone shot. So it went from tendonitis, sit out a game, go get another MRI. Why are you here again? To 2 months later, it's cancer, and they talking about taking your leg. You know what I mean? So that was a rough patch for my family of just dealing with that. So when I see a lot of our brothers and our sisters in altercations, and you mad at your mama, I don't take that lightly, because one of my dreams was to have a drink with my brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm 19, 20 years old, and I'm coming up on, being able to have alcohol, whatever, and I'm like, I never got to do that. And that's something that, I'm around it every day, so I see people, their brothers take a shot. Damn, I wish I was, and I had that opportunity. So I tell people, mend the relationship. If you can't, that's cool, but make sure you're gonna be at peace with it, because at any given time, you might not be able to do that.
So, man, as far as when you was younger, man, what type of activities you was into? Did you play any sports or anything like that?
You had no choices. That was how you got through. That was the bonding. That was a lot of relationships I even still have was created through sports. Okay. So that my first everybody's talking about networking event. The first networking event I had was playing Little League sports. Okay. I played baseball in Portland, played Muhammad Ali, and like I said, I played basketball at Parkland. And then, of course, organized ball. That was the organized ball, but every sport I was playing almost year round, something. And that's what kind of kept me active, going, and building, building relationships, to be honest with you. Like I said, my brother, he was better at basketball than me, so he played, so even just playing against him all the time and going to his games or whatever, even afterwards. So that's where it was. And then football, man. Football, basketball, and baseball, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. Soccer, I should have played soccer. That's where it was at. To me, but I wasn't exposed to it. But I would.
All right, man. So, great household. You lost your brother when you was younger, and always was into different things as far as academics, things like that. So where did Virtue come about, around what year, and did someone spark that idea, or was that something that you just came about on your own?
It definitely one came about on my own, because I don't believe you do nothing without God's blessing. So it definitely wasn't just me, man. Definitely God's vision and giving me the idea to even having that entrepreneurial spirit. So I definitely gotta say it starts there. But actually it started with childhood friends. We went to Mill. I went to Mill, they went to Manual. And we basically were doing parties. So we started off like renting venues, doing 21 and over parties, and it was like, man, one day we need to get our own. It was like the vision, that was the goal, was like get our own. We going around paying rentals to rent venues, they taking the bar, we bringing the people, doing the advertising, and all we get is the door. We negotiated a few contracts, developed some partnerships with some of the venues, to make the numbers make a little bit more sense in our favor. But the vision was always, let's get our own. So Virtue actually started, we just had our 5th year anniversary of the brand. It actually started with multiple partners. And then when COVID hit, we had a decision to make. Do we want to keep trying, go for it? And COVID was just like crazy. So that was like, you know, I'm gonna keep doing real estate. I'm gonna keep doing this. And I'm like, I think I want to continue. And that was kind of the, you know, the relationship, you know, we have, like, go ahead, you know what I mean? So kind of start off that way, about dabbing on board. So let's rock. Struggled through COVID. And my whole thing through COVID was survival of the fittest. I feel like if you were able to get creative enough, get out of the box, and just survive and be one of the last ones standing, you got a great chance for success coming out of COVID. So not knowing when it would end, how it would end, what it looked like, took a lot of money. Like you had to put some money up. You had to put some money up. You had to lose a lot of money, and hopefully that the other side of the rainbow looked like a bag. And you know, we've been blessed to say that we was able to financially have the funds to make it through COVID, because it wasn't coming from the business. I mean, it was literally pay out of pocket. You know what I mean? Every day, just trying to keep my staff working through COVID, getting them hours, you know, doing the to-go drinks, expanding the menu, offering. We did crazy stuff, man. I was out delivering food if need be. You want some food? I don't care what it. I don't care if it was $15, $100. I'm ready to go get it. So, you know, I had to take that hustler's mentality of, I'm going to get every dollar out here, however I need to get it. So, putting stickers on the boxes, trying to make it COVID proof so it wasn't touched by many hands, ordering special bags and boxes. Like, it was expensive to make it through COVID because of the regulations that was putting on us, from the curfews and what you can sell, what you can't. But if you was a hustler, you made it through COVID, all right?
One thing, man, that you stuck out that you said to me was that you was out delivering. And you know, I was having a conversation the other day with one of my friends. I was saying that, you know, a lot of people can be a boss or something, but they don't know when to turn it off or know how to play different roles. 'Cause I feel like, you know, the people that know how to play different roles and know how to play certain positions, be like, oh, I'm the boss this day, but today I'm a worker this day.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? So
I think that's a trait that every boss has to have. Like, I feel like if not, you're vulnerable to not be the boss.
right.
Like, you got, when you're a boss, I feel like you got to know your operation inside out. I can't let you work for me and know my operation better than me, because then you can take advantage of it. I don't like it. So I ain't got no problem with this. That sweep the floor needs to be done. I don't have no problem sweeping the floor. But if I pay people for a position, I expect them to sweep the floor.
Yeah.
But don't think the job won't get done, because it will. It's just, you know, how you want to get it done. So everybody think being a boss is fun. You know what I mean? Like, to say, it's one thing to say I'm the boss, but when it's time to be the boss, are you the boss? You know what I'm saying? So like you saying, like, just being able to play those roles, wear many hats, turn it in and turn it off. And I think it comes with people just respecting that you're the boss.
Right.
And I don't walk around with virtue stuff on all the time. I really try, depending on where I'm going, I try not to wear it. Just because I don't want to, if I'm just going out to eat sometimes I don't want to, you got virtue, don't tell me about it. Which is cool, but sometimes I need that peace from me. I just want to sit at the bar, eat somebody else's wings, eat somebody else's food, and just get a mental cleanse. Or just all right, let me just breathe a little bit, because I need to recalibrate myself. So a boss is fun. It's cool to be the boss, but if you ain't ready to put that work in like the boss, then you ain't gonna sustain it.
So take me back to the time, man, on when you first opened, first day you first opened Virtue, and that beginning time, because you know when you first start something, when you truly have a passion for something, when you first start and you seeing people start support you, that can be like the honeymoon phase where, you know, so take me back to how the city embraced you when they knew that you was taking the business serious and you was hitting the ground running.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it was a blessing. Me and Davin had been looking for locations to get away from Oak Street, and he had came across. He was like, "Man, look at this." I said, "We gotta go tomorrow. Let's go tomorrow." They were still open, and we negotiated. Had literally a couple conversations, and he was like, "Yeah, we gonna, y'all can get the keys." So nobody knew, but on Derby week, when everybody was playing at Derby events and all that, we had already signed our paperwork and got the keys. So the hardest thing for us was keeping it under wraps for 90 days. We flipped this joint in 90 days and then trying to keep it under wraps. Like people's like, when y'all gonna get the sign changed? They don't know. We just want to change the sign and it's behind because we didn't want to red flag ourselves on what we was doing. So, like a lot of people will say, everybody clapping for you ain't happy for you.
Right.
And I feel like if you leave the people sleep sometimes and not necessarily ops, but don't let everybody know your moves. You know what I'm saying? So I like to just know that. Once I smack you, you're done. Like, I don't want to tell you, hey, I'm about to hit you. Nah, I just want to hit you upside your head and here it is. Like, you ain't got time to hate. You ain't got time to criticize. You ain't got time to say nothing because it's done. Now the machine's ready, so what you gonna do? So just where we was parking it, like, it was hell, man. Like, I'm looking around, making sure ain't nobody outside looking. People's going to the Family Dollar. Like I'm saying, people I know, I'm hurry to jump back in the car. I'm trying to not park. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a headache. So us, when we did the ribbon cutting, it was like a sigh of relief for us. Because now we can operate normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got to worry about nothing. So, but I think the greatest feeling for me was how happy the people that work at Virtue was. Like, I was happy that they was happy because giving them something to talk about and be proud to stand up on, like, ain't nothing like that feeling of being able to say, oh yeah, I work at Virtue, like, and you happy to say that. And just taking pride in that product, I think that was like a bittersweet, feeling of just like, yeah, we did that.
Also, that says a lot to you as a person because, a lot of people that's in that CEO role don't truly care about their employees, you know what I'm saying? So for you to be that persistent on, when y'all transition from the old building to here, to not letting too much time pass by, because you could have easily said that, be like, oh, my pocket's straight, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
so you be like, making sure that y'all open up as soon as possible so your employees can start back making money, because everybody has bills and things like that.
I think that was even going back to COVID, like we kind of touched on, but even that transitional period, I take that like on my shoulders, and I think that's when people was like, that was one of the times where it wasn't fun to be the boss. Like when you see people kind of struggling or reaching out for help, or just like when we open it, I'm trying to get back to the money. Like, I ain't realize how much I miss that Virtue money. Like, you know what I mean? So just hearing that was like, I gotta speed this up. I gotta do what I can to weather this storm with them and make sure their household is straight. Still make sure my household is straight and do what's best for the business. So it was a juggling act, but it was really wearing on me. It was wearing on me and Devin. So I was talking to Devin, we gotta figure out what we can do. So whether it's just like, come on, y'all pull up, lunch dinner's on us. Like, don't worry about that building. Just doing creative things to try to help, but not feel like a pity party. But you know what I'm saying? You don't want anybody to feel like you feeling sorry for them, but just doing things to keep them motivated, keep me motivated, and keep that ball rolling was crucial.
Yeah, so man, as far as Virtue as in general, man, like as far as like the impact that you have on the city, just kind of describe the operations of how you go week to week on not getting caught in doing things the same way, as far as because it's easy, you have a routine and you would do things the same things for months and things like that, but keep people on their toes and have people excited, even though it's the same place, but have people excited to come, oh, they doing this today, I'm gonna go check that out.
A lot of it, I think, is just being in tune and listening to the people. The people will tell you everything you need to know. You see some regulars that maybe not be coming as much or whatever, even just being able to take criticism. Like, I love to see the positive, but I love to see the negative too. Because behind a negative, usually it's a valid point somewhere in there. Something happened. And if you're able to have thick skin and be able to listen to that criticism, it'll give you an answer on what you can do to better your product. So when those negative comments happen and whatever it might be, I try to take those and say, okay, what do I need to do to counter that, to make sure we don't repeat that same thing or how can we make that person who's saying something negative look like they're on the island by themselves? Just being better every day, I think it's a challenge. And when I see like another event be successful, I'm like, hold on. It ain't jealous. Like I know let's talk about the Kanye interview, and he was like, yeah, it was Shaq, the Shaq interview, whatever. He was like, yeah, I do get jealous, but it's a competitive jealous, not an envious jealous.
Right.
So I'll salute anybody with success. I promise you. I wish everybody win. I know everybody's not gonna win every day. That's just the law of the land. But I want to see everybody win. So when I see something go great, I'm like, I gotta be greater. And that's the fuel, the competitiveness that I have is be great, but be in your own lane. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. If you're in this lane, I'm not worried about getting in your lane, trying to get behind you and trying to pass you up. Like I'm gonna stay in my lane, at my pace, and do it great. So some people believe in get money now. I want to get money every day. But people's like, man, why don't you can charge 30, you get charge 40. I want money every day. I don't want your 30 once. I want your 10s five times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just keeping that mentality, staying in our own lane, the competitiveness even within myself, just to be better every day, is what keeps the innovation and creativity going.
You know, and that's kind of not normal these days, you know, as far as like, because a lot of people be in competition with each other and be throwing shots at each other and things like that. But like you said, you know, people taxing, charging $40 or $50, but you know, all the money stacked the same. You know, like it's stacked the same. Like, you know, you can charge because if you got other avenues of the business, like when y'all added the kitchen and you got the bar, you know, you're gonna make up for that other 40 that you're not getting just based off them buying drinks and just being here for the whole time, you know.
And like I said, man, we want to be a bar and lounge. Like we don't want you to just come on a late night. If you got a meeting, I want to meet some homies. I want to take my mom out to eat for lunch. Like, we want to diversify ourselves and give ourselves opportunity not to get the late night money.
Right.
And I think when you start doing that, that's what you're gonna get. It's just the late night, and which is cool. It works. You need it. The city needs it, and I believe the city should have options. So, what people say is competition is good for the consumer because it keeps it competitive and it keeps the options open. Mm-hmm. Everybody might not like being out till 3, 4 in the morning. Sometimes you want to be out to just 2. Come early and just happy hour. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, I hope the city will get more accustomed to like the Atlantas and the Houstons, where we party earlier. Like we don't party, we party late, and I don't get it. Like day parties took off, you know, it's a niche now, but I'm trying to develop a turned happy hour. You know what I mean? So that's on my to-do list for the spring. Is I want a turned up happy hour. Like you come at 6, 7, you in your scrubs, you done loosened up the tie a little bit, you still got your slacks, your wingtips, your Chelsea boots, whatever your profession might be, but it's straight out to punching that clock. Getting to it, you know, and it's straight to happy hour. So that's the concept that I definitely want to explore, is that pushing down the city's throats at happy hour. And I'm gonna challenge the city to a turned up happy hour. And I think that'd be something dope.
So what are your long-term and short-term goals, man, as far as like what do you want to accomplish with Virtue?
Man, I would love to see Virtue be a staple in the community, as long as, you know, like Cole's, you know, rest in heaven, Mr. Cole. Definitely, like he had a great run, a long tenure, staple in the community. So you look at the Mr. Cole's, you look at the Club Cedars, even, you know, Double Deuces has been there for years. Then you go to like the Back Door that's been there for ages, you know what I mean? So I just would like to be that type of staple to where, you know what I mean, like Virtue's gonna be there. So just to be able to develop that longevity of it would be a blessing. Second location, you know, if it's in the cars, maybe on the East End side, would be, you know, something to entertain, I think. But mainly I want to diversify my personal portfolio of investments, you know, so looking at the real estate and in the healthcare field is probably the next steps, to be honest with you.
Do you see Virtue being like a lifelong thing, something that you want to be involved in for the majority of your life, or do you see yourself either passing it on to when the kids get older for them to run it, or you just transition to a whole nother space?
Man, that's a tough one, Eric, man. Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think the goal is always to be successful. So what that success looks like, everybody's not going to be cut out. Everybody's not cut out to run the bar industry. Like, it can wear on you. It's hard on your family. It's hard on you socially. Like, it's every day. Like, it's not easy. So if it's in my kids' cars that they are interested in it, I'll definitely gotta get in the game. It's definitely theirs. That's what I do it for. Mm-hmm. Like, it ain't about me. It's for my kids. At this point, you know, it's my baby, but I'm going to work for them. I'm working extra hard to take care of them, make sure they straight, and being able to develop them and give them experiences and stuff like that. So if virtue's in the cards to pass it down, it's getting passed down. If I can pull a whatever and somebody, a big chain wants to buy in or whatever, I mean, you got to entertain that. You know what I mean? If it's an opportunity for us to better ourselves or expand to other markets, I'm definitely interested. I follow 2 Chainz a lot. I think he's a very smart, low-key businessman, the way he moves and the investments and what he does. You know, everybody knows 2 Chainz is a rapper, but him just owning Escobar and they're selling franchises. Like, I'm entertaining that. I'm developing SOPs and stuff like that now to be able to present to Virtue, Ohio, Virtue, Indianapolis. Like, that's when you get it, and that's when you get into it, and I think that's good for the brand. So I'm definitely interested in the franchising. I think that would be more of the lane that I would like to, is be more of a franchise and getting royalties here. Maybe not hands-on day-to-day, but being able to say, okay, I got a percentage up in Ohio, a percentage in Atlanta, a percentage in Alabama. You know what I mean? To where I'm putting pieces of the pie together to make another pie, but not the daily operation. I'm doing daily checks to make sure you know operating to the Virtue standard. That's the goal. I would say franchising is probably the next step for Virtue.
So as far as your family history, did you have anybody in your family that you could look up to, or any close friends that was an entrepreneur or business minded like that, or were you the first one to kind of take that step in your circle or your family?
Man, entrepreneurial wise, I worked for a small business at a time, probably like, you know, in my 20s, and I think that's where I learned some entrepreneurial struggles, so to speak. You know what I mean? He was pretty open about what was going on with the business and, you know, bank conversations and stuff like that. So I definitely learned that. But I think my father was probably the one I got the hustle from, and that it, you know, just knowledgeable on managing people and how to manage a business, because I think he managed his life well. So I'm a firm believer, and I'm trying to even get better. I'm like, when your life is in order, your business is in order. So to me, even just, you know, changing my habits of, once I get out of the bed, I listen to, I was looking at wrong. Once you get up out of the bed, you make the bed up and you don't get back in it. So that's a practice where I've been doing for about the past year now. Once I get out of the bed, there's no, let me lay back down. You make the bed up immediately, so you're less likely to get back in it. It's like, I don't want to make up the bed. So you might go sit on the couch, but you ain't getting back in that bed. Mm-hmm. So just developing those habits and being around my father, being able to get his insight, even just, all right, well, this is what I would do. Even if I might not do it, but this will give me a different perspective, and trusting somebody that I know has my best interest has always been key.
Yeah, so how do you want people to perceive you?
I don't know. It's a loaded question, E, man.
Nah, I just came up with the question. I just started asking people recently, because it's a real question that you have to really think. And I think everybody, and I look at it as really like a legacy question, because when you get 20 years down the line and you reflecting on all the stuff you accomplished, and you know, when everybody leaves here, you know, that dash in between the day you die and the day you was born, tell your story. So you want I mean, people gonna say what they want to say. They're gonna have their own opinions of you. But as far as like, what you putting out every day, and the effect that you have on people. So like, how do you want people to perceive you as far as, in general,
Man, how do I want people to perceive me? That's crazy. Man, that's crazy. How do I want people? I'm trying to figure out how to say this without, you know what I mean? Because I don't care what people think about me.
Right.
But I try to hold myself to a standard where you can't say anything negative about me.
Right.
So that's what I know, how I govern myself. So you can have to formulate your own opinion, maybe you cross paths or not. But just know I'm gonna be fair, I'm gonna be honest, and I do it for mine. You know what I mean? So other than that, and then when I say mine, that means my kids, my family, my girl, and my legacy that I want to leave behind. That's the goal. Of course, I'd like to say he's a God friend, man. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say I'm holy thou. You know what I mean? I walk around and I ain't gonna say I read a Bible verse every day, but I definitely pray before I eat. Count my blessings, even when I'm down. You know what I mean? The struggle, just pray that the storm is over, give me the strength to make it through to get to it. You know what I mean? So, just as long as I leave a legacy that somebody can say, man, he was a good man. You know what I mean? I think I'd be cool with that. Your blessings will come in through your kids. So, I think if you do those things and be fair and be honest, God-fearing, and about your family, like, I think good things will happen for you. So, as long as I'm in that realm of that, I think my success story will come, and that'll speak for itself. As long as you ain't going around doing people wrong, treating people who work for you as people that work for you, not no person that's a peon on the totem pole. Because every piece makes the puzzle. And I don't care if you're a corner piece, a middle piece, the first piece or the last piece, you matter just as much as this whole entire puzzle. Because the picture's gonna be distorted without your piece. So, with that being said, I think I'd be cool with that. I think I have my legacy. But I don't think I'm done. So, in this chapter, in this chapter book, I think I'm only like halfway in. So, I'm interested to see what this other 50% looks like. For myself, you know what I mean? So, what's yours?
Wait, me personally, I think how I want people to perceive me is, live by. I'm a firm believer of whatever you put out, it's gonna come back to you. So I always live by trying to treat people good and put positive energy out, even if I know a person did me bad or did something that wasn't in my best interest. I don't try to go tick for tack or nothing like that. I just let the world just, as life goes by, if something.
You're a karma guy.
I mean, karma is a part of life. Like, I don't think you could really get around it. Not saying that. I think people go wrong is taking karma in their own hands. I don't believe in you pursuing the karma to get back on somebody, but I just believe in, I just want people to perceive me as, kind of similar to what you said, ain't nobody really said that I did them wrong, and I always treated people good, and I always tried to help people. That's how I want people to perceive me. If I had it to help, I help.
I try to be a selfless person too. You know what I mean? I think when you do it for self, you end up on an island by yourself. You know what I mean? So like keeping just good people around me that's even gonna challenge me when I'm wrong. Like I think that's important. Like you can have people that are big up you all day. Oh, Eric, man, you doing it good. You got new chains, new watch. But are you really like checking me? Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if you're around me, you really genuinely around me and care about me, and that's where I'll be in this. You should be able to check me, like, bro, why you shouldn't have made that move just yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, did you that's cool, but what made you do it? You know what I mean? Like, check me when I'm wrong. And you know what I mean? I think accountability is a word that is thrown around so loosely, but it's not taken as strong as it should.
Yeah, I'm big on accountability because coming from the military, that whole military system is about accountability.
Right.
So I'm real big on accountability, whether if it's somebody I'm doing business with or just somebody I got a relationship with, as a friend, family member, or whatever, you know, whether you right or wrong, just be accountable for whatever you did.
I'm a firm believer in that word.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how important it is. And even just holding yourself and being accountable for yourself actions. And I think if more people were accountable and develop more discipline, we'll be a lot more further ahead as people. You know what I mean? So, not working on it. Sometimes I'm not as disciplined as I should, but I've told myself, like, I don't drink while I'm here. I feel like that's just to set the tone and the standard for my staff and me being the best version of myself, and then making sure I don't overindulge because I don't have to pay for it. So it ain't like I can just drink free will, but I think that's not me being the best version of myself and setting an example for the staff, and even it's showing them that you can be around this environment and not become not influenced by it, because being in the nightlife can be toxic. I mean, I think you know. I think everybody who goes out knows that when you go in the club and you start getting drunk, like, why'd you do that? Why'd you spend that? You know what I mean? So it's not always a positive situation to be in, and depending on where we are mentally, sometimes we overindulge. We make bad decisions because we masking whatever happened throughout the day with that alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, we always, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a celebration, sometimes it's a mask. You know what I mean? I'm trying to cover it up to get to see another day. And I get it, but it ain't always the right thing to do, overindulge like that. I think we've all done it, you know what I mean? You know, so just trying to be better like that too, though.
So, man, as we wrap things up, man, any last things that you want to say about what virtue has to come in the future for the rest of 2022 and 2023? Anything that you have that you know off the top of your head that you have coming, and let people know how to find you on social media, things like that?
Man, what's coming up? You know, we're in the fourth quarter of the year. You know, fourth quarter is pressure. That's when it's, you know what I mean, changing that yearly salary, what it looks like. So we're going to push through the fourth quarter, just trying to up the revenue, get some different events. We got Thanksgiving Saturday, the Jeezy event with Royal Creations with Tay and his crew. New Year's Eve, of course, we're going to do a New Year's Eve blowout. Gotta have that. Got a couple the kids' Halloween's coming up that we do that's turn. Kids' Halloween party is turn. And I'm waiting to see if it's gonna be better than the adult one, because the kids ones go hard. We're gonna do a Christmas drive as well. We working with them. And then New Year's, of course. Then it's my birthday, so you know we gotta go up for that. We gotta go way up for that. And then 2023, like I said, man, the goal. Get the financial documents prepared, start exploring possibly the franchise situations, speaking into an existence. You know what I mean? And I don't believe putting the horse before the carriage and the carriage before the horse, but speaking it up into existence. That franchise opportunities, expansion will be something to explore. And just making virtue better every day, man. I can't stress it enough. I know it sounds corny as I'll get out, you know what I mean? But be better every day and adapt in the business to be better. And that's our goal, man. Expand franchise and be better every day. And just circling the money back into the experience here too, though. And giving people something new to look at, whether it's decor, organization, the type of events as well. So other than that, man, that's hopefully be back on here, talk about what we talked about and see where we at, and do a self-check accountability. Man, when you said this on the last one, where we at with it, what happened? Did those heaters come in? You said we're gonna heat it on the patio. You got more heaters coming in. Like, what's going on with that? What y'all doing with this patio? What's up with the hookah? Did that happen? So this podcast will be an accountability check for me to say, like, you talked about it, but did you execute?
Right.
So that's it. Social media, I know everyone's the world. gotta be on there.
Right.
Even when you don't want to be on there. Instagram, my personal, Tone Da Capone. Facebook, Tony, Dream Team Frank, of course. Business page, we working on our TikTok. You know, what you can find us Virtue Bar and Lounge. And that's on all social media platforms, Virtue_Bar and Lounge. Follow us, inbox us, slide that DM, book a table, book a section, whatever you need, man. Any questions, whatever. Like, we try to be pretty responsive via social media. Keep tapping in on Google. We average about 20,000 check-ins a month on Google. So, you know, if you got any questions, find us on Google. It's hours, operation. Leave a good comment, no negative. You know what I mean? Give us some 5 stars. Yeah, man. Social media followers.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. You know, anytime you want to come on, you can come on anytime. You know, it just got to be an interview, but I don't want to get the interview out just so to get more people can know about it. You know, I've built a nice fan base on YouTube and other platforms that I'm on, and I just want, I also talk about real stuff, you know what I'm saying, as far as police brutality, child support, relationship stuff, that, you know, I talked about another topic that was real good too, transit, is it okay to kick your kid out at 18?
Man, I think we was at the bar, we tapped on it at the bar the other day.
Yeah. So,
nah, man, that's a mouthful right there.
Yeah.
But no, it's not okay. But yeah, we'll talk about that later, but nah, it ain't okay.
well, yeah, I just started this because I think, you know, me personally, you know, stuff I went through in the military, losing friends in Afghanistan when I was on deployments and combat situations. You know, I went through a real depression, you know, when I lost a couple of my friends. So I think when I started this, you know, I think the mental health aspect, especially in minority communities, is really absent because we're trained systematically to just get treated bad and just keep moving. Like, all right, that sucked, but whatever,
Right.
keep going. So I just think we just have to have more conversations amongst each other to get reassurance in ourselves to know that people go through similar things, whether, you know, this person can be making $500,000 and you can be making $50,000. We still all people at the end of the day, and people go through similar struggles no matter what level of life they're in.
That's a fact, man. Salute to you, man. I remember when you first had the idea to start the podcast and to see you do it and then grow with it and even just keep grinding on it, man. That's a testament to you and your character too, though. So you definitely need to pat yourself and get your flowers, man. You're doing it. Even just the growth in yourself, even before this, like, I can see you growing, you know what I mean? You was kind of quiet at first. so I'm thinking quiet Eric, hey, you know what I mean? He ain't quiet no more, you know what I mean? Which is good, man, because I think your personality shows in your podcast, man, which is great. And I think people just getting to know you know what I mean, is a testament too, so appreciate you. Now come on, anytime, anything I can do to help, you know, I'm gonna hit my line.
All right, man, and everybody check out Virtue Bar Lounge in Louisville, Kentucky on Brownsboro Road. Come get some of them good grippos, catfish nuggets. Come out on Taco Tuesday, get some of those tacos, man. And anything, you know, during the day, nightlife, sing, hookah, bomb drinks, any type of drink you can think of at a bar situation, great customer service. Come check them out if you're stopping in Louisville to see a Louisville game or anything you got going on. You got to stop by Virtue. That's almost necessary, you know. And check out what Tone them have going on. You know, I've been coming up here for almost 4 years, and it's kind of like a weekly routine for me to come by here at least once or twice a week. So I appreciate all my supporters that have been supporting the podcast. We almost at 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. So I appreciate everybody tapping in with me, and we got more dope content to come in the future. And be on the lookout for the Red Sashawn interview that drops on November 7th at 12 o'clock. So I appreciate the support, and this concludes today's episode, and appreciate y'all supporting me. Y'all have a good one.
I've been counting up that money at a visit. It's getting close, yeah, I see it.